live. Hi guys, this this is Dan again. Welcome to my channel. This is Guys. I am doing the Aries. I'm beginning the start of the fire. I don't know if I'm gonna do all three fire signs tonight, but I thought since I'm doing this, I might as well just stick with it. Just stay with it, hooker. So I'm gonna try and power through and maybe do Aries and Leo. I don't know, we'll see. Or maybe Aries, Leo, Sag. But right now, this is for Aries, for Sun, Moon, or Rising, and for heavily placed planets in Aries. So my rising is Aries. After that Pisces reading, I was like, oh shit, I need to see something different. Pisces and Scorpio are up on the business page. Cancer, it went up, but I was having technical difficulties, so it ended up being like 3 videos because my internet dropped. So Cancer is only on the YouTube page. So you do have to go over to YouTube to look at Cancer's monthly for July. So let's get into Aries. So this is for anybody with Sun, Moon, or Rising in Aries. This is also anybody with heavily placed planets in Aries. So keeping that in mind, this is a broad spectrum reading for the month of July. It may apply to you, it may not. Take everything I say and apply it where it needs to go. Leave the rest. Hey, Terry Clapham, how are you? Hey, Jamie. Hey, Amy Jo Kastner. Yeah, so this is your Aries reading. What I decided to do, because it's been such a rough year, I decided to add a couple of extra cards, just things to think about. And this first card is from the Animal Spirit deck, and the idea is this is an animal spirit to help get you through the month of July. It is something to either call upon through your meditations or just to reflect upon throughout the month of July, but also it might be an animal that is trying to show you something that you have within you or call something out, some sort of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, like not negligent, but like a part of you that you maybe forgot you had, or a power in you that you forgot that you could connect to, right? That will help you to work through your July for my Aries. Okay? So let's see. Oh wow. All right, Crow is back. So Crow is the same animal that showed up for Scorpio. So what I was saying about Crow is Crow has the ability to fly in between the worlds, and Crow is sort of has this ability to kind of see the other realms. Crow is the element or the medicine of law, so Crow knows right from wrong very clearly. Crow is also one of my favorite medicine cards. It's the center of when I did my medicine card totem, Crow is my center, and I've always had this affinity for crows. So when I look at this card, I love how this crow is sitting over the planet, or what looks like the planet to me, this little ball, and everything that's going on in the world right now. To me, and I said this to Scorpio also, is to me this feels like Crow is sort of doing the right thing, helping others to see how to go about doing the right thing in a planetary space or at a planetary level. So my Arians or my Aries might be able to uh, show others how to sort of behave properly or more lawfully or do the right thing. It's that sort of an energy, right? It's that sort of an awareness that Crow has. Crow has the ability to also fly between the worlds, the spirit world or the underworld and the material world, the physical world. And so I feel like Aries will have a stronger connection in the month of July, hopefully with that communication, right? Or being able to sort of bring through elements of spirit or truths from spirit from the other side that help to make the world a better place, right? So that is something that you guys want to stay focused on as you move through the month of July. thinking of things as like, is this lawful? Is this correct? Is this the right thing to be doing? Could we be doing better? And this could be both personally or like, amongst your community or the world as a whole. And calling out those things. When you think about Crow, Crow says caw, caw. He always calls out. So calling out like your friends, your neighbors, your family, if they're doing things that are inappropriate, call it out. Or if they're doing things that are appropriate, even call that out, like praise them. That could be crow energy and crow medicine. And if you're doing things correctly, call that out. Or call out if you're doing things incorrectly. But you're going to intrinsically know what is correct and what isn't. I also want to say that crow is the element of air, which is the sort of the element that feeds the fire that is Aries. So I like that there's a blend of that those feel in communion with one another for the month of July. So that's a nice sort of connection there. Okay. Hey, Anne Marie. I know, I love crow. Crow's my spirit totem too. Even though I'm a white person. I don't know that white people are allowed to have spirit totems. But I claim crow. So that's just my thing. But so let's see what's going on in the cards. This first card is the center. What I mean is this is sort of where my Aries are going to be operating from most of the time through the month of July. Not necessarily all of the time. It gives us insight into not only where you're vibing at, but what you could potentially be creating for the future. So let's see what that card is. Oh wow, hello Devil card. So he was Okay, so I have an Aries rising. I just did Pisces, and Devil was very prominent in the Pisces reading, and then we pop out with Devil again. It's like, oh fuck, here we go again. All right, so I'm gonna say this. I find this interesting that we have this black cat that we're riding here, right, in the Devil card. And then we have this black bird that is sort of guiding us about what is right and what is wrong. The devil is also about what is right and what is wrong. The devil shows us through sort of our own insecurities, our own fears, our own indulgences, our own handicaps, or and I don't mean like, handicaps in the sense of physically handicapped or mentally handicapped. What I mean is like where our weaknesses are, where our Achilles heel is. The devil is there to show us that, right? We might be showing that to others. I kind of see this as with this crow medicine card here. This could be us sort of maybe pissing a few people off. Aries has a tendency to do that. Like, let's just be honest. We can say the wrong thing at the wrong time sometimes with that fiery nature of Aries, like spouting off. The devil definitely is like sort of an in charge, powerful card. I do feel like the devil kind of has got a bit of a bull in the china shop feel to it in this position. I would warn my Aries to be careful about not pissing off too many people. For some of my Aries, some of you may be facing some of your deeper, darker fears in the month of July. You might be facing some of your like Achilles heel or your weaknesses. But Crow is here to help you guys to sort that out. Crow is here to help you to heal that. Crow is here to help you to navigate that. And so if it's you pissing off other people, that's one thing. But if it's you sort of dealing with your own insecurities, addictions, laziness, whatever that may be, it's going to be big and at the forefront through the month of July. It's going to be challenging you. I think that in the end, it will be for the best, but we're going to have it's a challenge. It's not, I mean, the guy's riding around on a black fucking cat. Like, he's not fucking around people, like, let's be honest. Speaking of cats, hi, Ingemar. So, just be ready for the month of July. I just feel like for my Aries, it's going to be a bit of a ride. It's going to be, whether you're the one driving the vehicle or you're riding along in it, it's going to be transformative. Let's just say that. All right, let's look at the foundation card. The foundation card is, I use the analogy of a foundation of a house. This is the card from the past that sort of lets me know why everything is the way that it is. So it's also the memory of this card that holds everything in place. So this is the Knave of Wands. Now this is the element of fire. Sorry, the cat knocked the computer. This is the element of fire, and I like that this is here. The Knave is usually youthful and sort of exuberant, doesn't necessarily always have all the information that he should, but he's willing to learn, right? And Knaves usually have messages with them, right? That they're message bearers, or they bring knowledge or awareness that we didn't otherwise have. When I look at this card, to me it feels like there may have been moments where we may have learned some stuff about. To me, this feels like we've almost been too kind. Because and the reason why I say this is I look at this in an effort in contrast to that devil card above it. To me, I feel like maybe in the past my Aries have been too quiet. Maybe we have like taken that fiery nature and tampered it down a little bit. That's this knave energy to me, is sort of like weakened it a little bit or diluted it or felt diluted by other situations in our past. And now July's here and we're like, fuck this, I'm gonna like wreak some havoc. That's kind of that devil card is sort of my feeling. So for those of you that feel as though you're driving the car, or pushing others to their own, to challenge them to look at their own shit, then that's sort of the like I feel like that's the what's the word I'm looking for? Um it's like we've been quiet for too long, and now it's time to kind of step in and fire things up, get things rolling, challenge people, challenge ourselves. This crow medicine also is about that challenge, right? This knave, to me, he feels very peaceful. He feels very like, oh, look at the pretty flower. This is not the energy of the devil that we have in July. This is sort of like this idea that like we're gonna like almost create a ruckus or challenge ourselves in such ways that it's going to certainly grow us. It's no longer like all peace and lilies, if that makes any sense. So let me see here. What is this? The next card is the spirit or soul space. This is what our spirit or soul wants us to work on while we're at during the month of July. Now this is the Knight of Wands. So I love this. He's charging forward into the future, empowered. Knights are about, to me, security and protection. They also can sort of be about service and action. Uh, to me, the Knight of Wands is this idea of growing up a little bit, being a little bit more responsible. I kind of feel like the devil is not quite so responsible in the center there. There's a little bit of messiness to the devil. I feel like our higher self wants us to sort of grow ourselves and own our fiery nature, but own it from a place of respect. Own it from a place of sort of honor. This knave to me feels youthful and a little bit too quiet. The devil feels a little bit too loud and too much of a ruckus, and the knight feels like, it's like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This bed is just right. And to me, that knight feels that way to me. It's like sort of growing into our own awareness of our own power, our own voice, our own action, and what that can create. And we might be learning that through the month of July, through different experiences where we act like the devil and we cause a stink or stir up some shit and then have to deal with it. But the night will teach us how to deal with it nobly, correctly, in an adult manner, hopefully. I mean, if we don't let that devil energy run too much riot for us. And the crow energy also, I feel like the crow card is definitely asking us to call in that sort of lawfulness, that sort of awareness, that discernment that we see in that Knight of Wands, right? So it's definitely a growing of the knave energy we see as the past, right? So it's just, this is like another level of, ouch, ouch, you're clawing me. This is like another level of our learning, right? So, keeping that in mind, I think this is what our spirit wants for us, is to grow that. But I kind of feel like the devil might be a little bit of a dangerous, not dangerous, but like, is volatile the right word? I don't want to freak my Aries out, but I just feel like be careful with this devil energy in the center. Be careful not to overindulge. Be careful not to be too challenging. I feel like this is a direct result of having kept our mouth shut for too long. So maybe in the beginning parts of January, we're mouthing off or challenging our environment or the things that are going on around us, or it's pissing us off to a degree. We might find ourselves drinking a little bit more, being a little bit more crazy. And really what our spirit wants us to do is be more responsible, be more, still be strong, still be challenged, still be fiery, still be action oriented, but do it in a way that's sort of practical and grounded in that night energy, if that makes sense. So the next two cards are the outside influences. These tell me sort of what's going on around you that's influencing you either positively or negatively. They can be either people, sometimes events, sometimes they can be energies or belief systems that are having an effect on us. Interesting. So we have the Knight of Swords. Lots of night energy, lots of horses, lots of power, lots of... Is there some power struggles that are going on for Aries in the month of July? So when I look at this Knight of Swords, we have that Swords energy, which is also very much air, which is ties into the crow element here. Air, again, feeds fire. I feel like this Knight of Swords could be a very intellectual person that could be challenging us a little bit. When I look at, if we look at how this Devil and the Knight of Swords are both riding around, one on a cat, one on a horse, this could be an adversarial person or somebody that challenges us. This could be an air sign that we feel as though we need to challenge. That's just kind of how I'm interpreting it. I don't know why it makes me think of that, but there is that going on. This could also be an opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about our intellect through situations that come at us that challenge us to sort of stand up into our intellect and utilize this crow medicine or energy of, like, you know, discernment and law to bring about this more knowledgeable Knight of Swords awareness to ourselves. Maybe this is us tampering down that devil and getting a little bit more logical, i.e. the Knight of Swords, through different debates, challenges, that sort of things. I kind of get with all of this Knight energy and that devil in the center, there could be a little bit of conflict for my Aries. Like there could be some fights. There could be some, like, we've been biting our tongue for the months previous and now it's like we're kind of maybe popping off a little bit. The question is how do we pop off, or when do we pop off, and in what way, and are we utilizing our best arguments or debates when we do start to challenge others or step up to the challenges that might be presented to us. Now the next card is the Ten of Cups. This is actually a really beautiful card. This is about sort of abundance and everything, like the family, the home, good things happening. It's an emotional card. It has to do with the element of water. To me, that's your kind of opposite element, being an Aries sign, which is the sign of fire, but the Ten of Cups is always a welcome card. To me, it feels like this family is sort of saying goodbye to the past in some ways, but so we might be letting go of the past and moving on to a brighter future, but I do sort of feel like there's opportunities for abundance and growth here. But I kind of feel like it, and I also am looking at these cards and I feel like there's an opportunity for my Aries to step to the forefront and possibly get noticed. And I don't know if that means like at the community level or, you know, like I don't know if there's something about this crow energy and the Ten of Cups. It feels like there might be opportunities to speak, opportunities to speak out against injustice, opportunity. That's also the two Knight energies. I feel like these two Knights here, it speaks to this idea of maybe standing up for what's right, speaking about what's right. That could be challenging to others, right? Or it could be challenging to us. But I feel like it has this opportunity for the benefit for all in the end, and that's this Ten of Cups energy, is if we do it in a way that is sort of like well thought out, planned appropriately, like this Knight of Swords, or do you see what I'm saying? Then or if we do it from this place of the Knight of Wands, which is sort of like spiritually connected and aware and for the betterment of all, we kind of end up producing these results of the Ten of Cups or the Knight of Swords, right? This clear-cut thinking, that kind of a thing. So there's opportunities here for like almost, I want to say helping our communities, helping the planet, speaking out, but doing it in a way that is productive is going to be key. Be careful, Aries, because that sort of Aries temperament, you don't want to like overdo it and then run too much of that devil energy, and the next thing you know, you've lost your audience, or you've alienated your audience, or you're battling with your audience in a way that you don't want to be. You kind of lose them, or you lose the message, so to speak. And I also feel like this Knave of Wands down here is a messenger. He is sort of the foundation to all of this, right? So although we may have been quiet in the past, there is this sort of peaceful aspect of yourself that if you bring that through, you could potentially... Can you not rip up the carpet with your claws? That's not what the carpet's there for. Thank you. Um, so that... if we bring that through, we could actually sort of serve our communities better, is sort of the feeling that I'm getting from this. Now, the potential outcomes, this is sort of where things are headed, barring that nothing major changes. It's not set in stone, but it is sort of where things could potentially end up. If it is negative, we can use this as a warning to make choices and changes to avoid this happening by the month's end. But if it is a good card, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards it. So let's see what that is. So this is the Knave of Chalices. So to me, this is about emotions. This is about newer horizons. Again, we've got another message bearer, another sort of idea of feeling vulnerable. I feel like we come in with this devil, and throughout the month, we might be a little bit boisterous, a little bit reckless, a little bit challenging to others. But by month's end, to me, I feel like emotionally we feel more settled. We may feel like we have still things to learn or room to grow, but I feel like we feel less vulnerable, less volatile, that there's new opportunities on the horizon. That's this castle in the background. I feel like there's an opportunity for us to sort of learn something by month's end, and feel, especially with this Ten of Cups energy, I feel like it brings us to this Knave of Cups. So if we sort of keep an eye out for these opportunities, these events that might be opportunistic throughout the month of July that sort of bring about abundance, and focus on those, we sort of end up with this Knave of Cups where we feel more settled, more like our guard is down. We feel less agitated, is sort of what it feels to me. Aggravated. I don't know if that's the right word. So I think that's what I'm sort of getting from that. Now let me do the last card. This last card is from the Divine Doors deck. This gives me a little insight into what doors you may be opening or closing during the month of July. Okay, so this is your door. It's more like a gateway, to be honest. It's wide open, and it's greener pastures on the other side. And it's interesting to me because we have this castle here in the background of this Knave of Swords, where I feel like whatever it is that you're doing in the month of January, even if you're challenging others or you're feeling challenged with this devil energy as your center, you're growing in some way, shape, or form that's bringing about the abundance that we see in this Ten of Cups. It's enabling us to see sort of the greener pastures that are coming. And that's sort of what I see in this card, right? With this green field beyond this gate. So keeping that in mind, let's see what it says. It says Three of Cups. A toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. Three of Cups in happiness. Three cheers are done. Celebration is near. So I feel like this is more towards the end of the month, and I feel like Three of Cups is always about that idea of celebration and joy and coming together with loved ones. We do have this Ten of Cups energy, and we end on this Knave of Cups. This Three of Cups thing makes, or card makes me feel like that's going to arrive more at the latter half. This is not like a doorway that we need to be accessing. It might be a focal point that we might want to think about as we're moving through the month, but we may not receive it until the very end of the month. I would be mindful of that, especially with that sort of, I feel like that devil sitting right in the center is a little bit like I just want to warn my Aries that just be careful of that devil energy, only from the standpoint that it's very powerful and it has a volatility to it, which Aries are you guys can be volatile and fiery and action oriented and all of that. So try to rein in your impulsivity would be my suggestion. With this focus on this idea of celebrating in abundance, finding the abundance in the month, utilizing this sort of like this ability to sort of connect to spirit, see the other side, discern the right answer, bringing that back to other people. You may challenge a few people in the month of July, and that's okay, but it's really about like how you challenge them. You want to be challenging them, I believe, more from this Knight of Wands than from this sort of devil energy, right? Although the devil energy can have its fun. There could be some sex involved for my Aries. There could be some wild parties. That could be the devil energy too. But I feel like the Three of Cups, this Knave of Cups or Knave of Chalices, to me, this is more about emotionally fulfilling, where the devil is more temporary. The devil's more like in the moment, fleeting and fast, and not quite as fulfilling. So, and I think that you guys, when I look at these cards, it feels to me like you guys are looking to be more fulfilled than this sort of, and that's this Ten of Cups energy too. There's like totally like the wishes fulfilled sort of thing. All right, so that is my Aries forecast for July of 2020. I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope that it helps you out. Remember, it is a broad spectrum reading for a lot of different Aries. So it may not apply to you. If that's the case, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means that, you guys might be on a different trajectory. But that is what I see for the month of July for most of the Aries. Thank you for tuning in. I may get right back on and do Leo in a moment. There you go. Oh, thank you, Anne Marie. She says he does all the signs every month. Check it out. He's a solid reader. Yeah, I do this every month. So I'm trying to get him out. I've been like lagging because I was in class all last week. So, but this is this is a slightly different version because I've added these animal spirit cards only and the donor cards just to give a little bit of a different message so that we have a little more hope because we've had such a rough 6 months so far. It's been such a hard year. So I feel like we need a little animal spirit guide every month for the rest of the year just to make up for it. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys hopefully in a little bit just for Leo. I might do Sag too just to get all the fire done, and then I'm halfway through the zodiac. So don't be a tease with the devil. Well, I think that the devil it could be a tease, but it could be showing us where we need work, is the thing. Like, if my Aries are popping off or they're being a little too aggressive, they may not get heard. And they don't like that. That's my feeling. So I feel like if we go to this higher self idea of the Knight of Wands, then we're coming from a more sort of stable, benevolent place. We'll be heard better. And I feel like there is an option to affect some change. That's this planet underneath the crow. And I didn't necessarily, I saw that with Scorpio too, but I feel like Aries is getting an opportunity here also with this Knight of Swords and the Ten of Cups as the outside energies, that there is opportunities for abundance and growth here. So there you go, guys. I will see you guys in a little bit for Leo. All right, have a good night. Bye.